preparing to visit Venezuela, but we discovered that there wasn't a lot of good information that we could find about the border crossing, hence this video. We decided to cross at Cúcuta, as we had heard that the Maicao crossing was not a safe option. We crossed at the Atanasio Gerardo Binational Bridge, which is known as the Las Tienditas border crossing. The infrastructure here is new, which is probably why there isn't much info out there. We rode up to the passport checkpoint, and they just waved us through. Trusting that they know better than us, we followed their direction and continued on. We saw a sign for international travelers and figured that must be the right place to stop. Fortunately, we met a guy who kindly described in detail what we needed to do.
So we have to go back to the gates where they waved us out. Over here and get our passport.
He then pointed us to another guy walking by and said he's the guy we need to talk with. Well, we spoke with Juan Pablo, who described in excruciating detail exactly what we needed to do.
Sí, and after por
Esta
ahí,
calle.
y en unos 100 metros, 200 metros, retorno.
Okay.
Ve la lana, justo ahí en la caseta pequeña, ahí atrás
Okay.
ahí pasan y cruzan la mano derecha. ¿Verdad? Que llegan de right.
Para cancelar el check.
Para custom document.
Okay. Por el moto.
Vamos, yo voy hasta allá.
Okay.
Primero,
Okay. Y después podemos ir a Venezuela.
No. Primero paso. First
Primero, segundo con usted.
pero tiene que seguir derecho de 200 metros.
Ajá.
Okay. Retorno.
Ajá.
Y after the house, no sé cómo se le dice a esa caseta de que está ahí, no está pequeña, no está, no big, de small.
Ajá.
¿Sí?
Okay.
Cruzar.
Cross.
Ahí ahí stand. Ahí en el techo. En el techo is my office.
Okay.
See you. Allá.
Okay. 2 minutos.
First,
Passport primero.
de la moto tiene que ir.
So, here's the process. Step 1. Stop at the passport control point and get your passport stamped to exit the country.
Go with this. Oh. Gracias. Ya, vamos a Venezuela, sí.
Step 2. Drive down the road past all of the buildings, then pull a U-turn and come back to this small building.
Yeah, no U-turns. So all this doesn't make any sense to me, but we need to go over to this guy. Dion is right there. So, well, no, to the left here.
This is the Dion office where Juan Pablo or his colleague Sandra will cancel your Colombian tip. Step 3, get your Colombian tip canceled.
Gracias.
Now, if you're entering Colombia from Venezuela, you can also get your tip issued here at the same building as well. But first you have to go to the adjacent building to get your passport stamped for entry, which is not the location where you go to get your passport stamped to exit the country. Step 4, drive out of the parking lot back towards Colombia and then pull a U-turn, driving back through the passport control point and carry on to the Venezuelan entry point.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it makes sense. Right, going to Colombia. For now.
Step 5. Here's where you get your passport stamped into Venezuela. Interestingly enough, we didn't get it stamped at the actual booth there. We had to pull in, pull over, park, get off the bikes, walk to another booth, and hand our passport in. And it was there that we got our passport stamped to enter Venezuela. Now, funny, at this border crossing, you can't actually get your tip for Venezuela. So once we finished here, we had to drive to the next border crossing to the south, San Antonio del Táchira.
Can you leave it on the bike? Yeah. Okay. Migración, I'm guessing. There's no one here, so. No. Sí, sí. Con el moto, sí. La primera vez en Venezuela.
Sí.
Turismo, sí. Ya, Miguel, está bien.
¿No tenía planificación? ¿No ha habido invitación? Solamente quiero hacer recorrido, no hay invitación.
Ya, no, es por turismo, para ver un poco del país.
¿Conoce a alguien en Venezuela? ¿Tiene dónde llegar? ¿Hospedaje?
Ya, esta noche en la grita tenemos una habitación.
¿No ven aquí? ¿Qué serie? Pasan a la aduana San Antonio para que recorrido se pase por
Oh, so necesitamos ir a San Antonio, por aquí. ¿Sí? Ok, ¿a dónde es San Antonio?
Vamos a recorrer aquí. Luego pasamos a la aduana.
Ok. So yo quiero San Antonio.
So step 6, leave the Venezuelan entry point, continue down to the first intersection, turn right, head south towards the other crossing. Step 7, you're going to pull into the Seniat parking lot. Enter past the orange cones and drive to the far end of the lot.
Hola, bien, gracias. Ya, acabamos de llegar aquí a las tienditas. La migración dice que necesitamos venir aquí por permiso temporal por los motos y por seguro. ¿Aquí es el lugar?
Sí, aquí.
Ok, so, parqueamos allá.
¿De qué país viene?
¿De Canadá?
Canadá. Sí, van a cruzar aquí, que abajo hay un parqueadero. Allá van para la moto y hacer trámite.
Ok.
What's on your bike?
Mira el oscuro. Ok, no por la oscuridad.
There's no point in going into the Seniat office at this point because first you need to purchase vehicle insurance for Venezuela. So leave your bike here and walk half a block to the east. There's a shop here that sells insurance. It cost us just 40,000 Colombian pesos for 1 year's worth of insurance. Interestingly, in this part of Venezuela, you can pay for stuff with Colombian pesos or US dollars. The impression we were given is that no one actually uses the Venezuelan bolivar. You will receive a small laminated insurance card and a piece of paper with details of your insurance. You can make copies at this location at 1,000 Colombian pesos per page. So make sure you get a copy of that insurance page made. Step 8, back at the Seniat office, they will want a copy of your passport photo page, copy of your driver's license, copy of your vehicle registration, and a copy of the insurance that you just purchased. They will also want to see your passport. Once they finish processing it, they will give you an original and a copy of the tip. Keep the small laminated insurance card and copy of the tip handy to show at checkpoints down the road. And that's it, you're all set. The visa you received for Venezuela is good for a year, but you're only allowed to be in the country for 90 days of that year. And the tip you just got is also valid for 90 days. Enjoy your time in Venezuela.